Hello and welcome to today's episode. Today we're going to dive into a component that has been around since the early automobile. It's a shocking story that I'm sure you will find electrifying. Let's get charged up and look at the ignition component, the ignition coil. On the surface, the ignition coil is not a difficult component to understand. It is simply two windings in a metal can with two small wire connections and one large coil wire that is connected to the distributor cap. One positive and one negative and one commutator. For years, this was the typical configuration of the automotive coil. For years, its function was to build up a charge and wait for the points to break so that it could release its charge to the distributor cap. Once inside the cap, the charge travels to the rotor, around the distribution, back to the pole in the cap, and down the wire to the spark plug. Inside the plug, the charge arcs and boom, we have liftoff. That is the way it was for years. Today, things have changed. Is there still a coil? Yes, of course there is a coil. In fact, instead of a coil, we have one coil for each cylinder. Gone are the distributor and the distributor cap. In most cases, even the spark plug wire is gone. Typically, the coil goes down through the valve cover and has a boot on it at the end that connects directly to the top of the spark plug. This is all made possible by the spark being directed by the ECM, or engine control module, which receives its signal from a crankshaft position sensor or a cam position sensor. So what has changed in the coil makeup? Well, there are still two windings. In the older coils, they were suspended in oil. Today, they use epoxy. Dimensionally, they are much thinner and most are longer than their predecessor. They still require two wires, but no coil wire because they are directly connected to the spark plug through the boot. Of course, the big change is that there are coils for every cylinder. In some cases, they're in rows and are replaced as a set, and in other times, they are singular. Of course, the big change is they no longer release their charge to a distributor, but are told to fire by the ECM and fire directly to the spark plug. To sum it all up, while there has been dramatic changes in coils of today, their function remains the same: direct large amounts of energy to ignite the combustion process. That's it for today, and thanks for being with us.